It's the Sabbath. Shalom, everybody. Shalom. What up, baby? How y'all doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a Sabbath. Happy Sabbath. Happy Sabbath. Happy Sabbath, man. And welcome to the Sabbath reading. We about to jump back into First Kings and see what King Solomon got going on in that thing, baby. Ooh, King Solomon. He in that thing. And we out here trying to read about it. We're going to see what King Solomon doing. First Kings chapter 5. Preparing to build the temple. First Kings chapter 5. So come on in and get your Bibles. Hey, get your highlighters if you need them. I'm going to get mine right here by y'all. Pens. Go and read, baby. Read it out. Get your pens, highlighters. Maybe you want to highlight. Maybe it's something you're going to find that you will like as we read. Maybe it's something interesting. You know, something you might have heard about before. Who knows? But we going to find out. So let's get to reading about King Solomon. First Kings chapter 5. Open your Bibles. That last one was bonk. Boo. First Kings. I know they sounded better. Oh, they sounded better in the Bible. Oh, I know they did. First Kings chapter 5, preparing to build the temple. Let's see what King Solomon got going on. He already asked for wisdom. He wanted wisdom so he could give good judgment, judge his people. Chapter 5. And Hiram, king of Tyre, sent his servants unto Solomon, for he had heard that he had anointed him king in the room of his father, for Hiram was ever a lover of David. And Solomon sent to Hiram, saying, Thou knowest how that David my father could not build a house unto the name of the Lord his God, for the wars which were about him on every side, until the Lord put them under the soles of his feet. But now the Lord my God had given me rest on every side, so that there is neither adversary nor evil occurring. And behold, I purpose to build an house unto the name of the Lord my God, as the Lord spake unto David my father, saying, Thy son, whom I will set upon thy throne in thy room, he shall build an house unto thy name. Now therefore, command thou that hew me cedar trees out of Lebanon, and my servants shall be with thy servants. And unto thee will I give hire for thy servants according to all that thou shalt appoint. For thou knowest that there is not among us any that can skill to hew timber like unto the Sidonians. And it come to pass, when Hiram heard the words of Solomon, that he rejoiced greatly and said, Blessed be the Lord this day, which had given unto David a wise son over this great people. And Hiram sent to Solomon, saying, I have considered the things which thou sentest to me. which thou hast sentenced to me for. And I will do all thy desire concerning timber of cedar, and concerning timber of fir. My servant shall bring them down from Lebanon unto the sea, and I will convey them to by the sea in floats unto the place that thou shalt appoint me. And will cause them to be discharged there, and thou shalt receive them, and thou shalt accomplish my desire in giving food for my household. For Hiram gave Solomon cedar trees and fir trees according to all his desire. And Solomon gave Hiram 20,000 measures of wheat for food to his household, and 20 measures of pure oil. Thus gave Solomon to Hiram year by year. And the Lord gave Solomon wisdom, as he promised him, and there was peace between Hiram and Solomon. And they two made a league together. And King Solomon raised a levy out of all Israel, and the levy was 30,000 men. And he sent them to Lebanon, 10,000 a month by courses. A month they were in Lebanon, and 2 months at home. And Adoram was over the levy. And Solomon had 70,000 that bare burdens, and 4,000 hewers in the mountains. And beside the chief of Solomon's officers, which were over the work, 3,300, which ruled over the people that wrought in the work. And the king commanded, and they brought great stones, costly stones, and huge stones to lay the foundation of the house. And Solomon's builders and Hiram's builders did hew them. And the stone quarrers, so they prepared timber and stones to build the house. Chapter 6, the description of the temple. The description of the temple. And it came to pass in the 480th year, after the children of Israel were come out of the land of Egypt, in the 4th year of Solomon's reign over Israel, in the month Ziph, which is the 2nd month, with that he began to build the house of the Lord. Ziph, the month of Ziph. Ziph. That is the 2nd month that he began to build the house of the Lord. And the house which King Solomon built for the Lord, the length thereof was 60 cubits, and the breadth thereof 20 cubits, and the height thereof 30 cubits. And the porch before the temple of the house, 20 cubits was the length thereof, according to the breadth of the house. And 10 cubits was the breadth thereof before the house. And for the house he made windows of narrow lights. And against the wall of the house he built chambers round about. Against the walls of the house round about, both of the temple and of the oracle. And he made chambers round about. The nethermost chamber was 5 cubits broad, and the middle was 6 cubits broad, and the third was 7 cubits broad. For without in the wall of the house he made narrowed rest round about, that the beams should not be fastened in the walls of the house. And the house, when it was in building, was built of stones made ready before it was brought thither, so that there was neither hammer nor axe nor any tool of iron heard in the house while it was in building. The door for the middle chamber was in the right side of the house, and they went up with winding stairs into the middle chamber, and out of the middle into the third. So he built the house and finished it, and covered the house with beams and boards of cedar. And then they built chambers against all the house, 5 cubits high, and they rested on the house with timber of cedar. And the word of the Lord came to Solomon, saying, concerning the house which thou art building, thou art in building. If thou wilt walk in my statutes and execute my judgments and keep all my commandments to walk in them, then will I perform my word with thee, which I spake unto David thy father. And I will dwell among the children of Israel and will not forsake my people Israel. So Solomon built the house and finished it. And he built the walls of the house within their boards, within with boards of cedar, both the floors of the house and the walls of the ceiling. And he covered them with the inside with wood, and covered the floor of the house with planks of fir. And he built 20 cubits on the side of the house, both the floor and the walls with boards of cedar. He even built them for it within, even for the oracle, even for the most high holy place. Excuse me. And the house, that is, the temple before it, was 40 cubits long. And the cedar of the house within was carved with knobs and open flowers. All was cedar. There was no stone seen. And the oracle he prepared in the house within, and set there the ark of the covenant of the Lord. Excuse me, let's see what that is. Let me see if I can see that. The oracle. What is the oracle? The oracle. Let's see if it's in the Bible dictionary. The oracle. Olives. Oracle. An utterance supposedly coming from a deity and generally through an inspired medium. That's one. Two, utterance of prophecy translated burden. Isaiah 14:28 and 15:1, Ezekiel 12 and 20, 12 and 10. Holy of Holies in the temple, 1 Kings chapter 6. The Old Testament was referred to as living, lively oracles. The oracles of God would include Christian teachings. Christians are told to speak as the oracles of God. So, what is oracle here? I don't think. Maybe. Maybe. And the oracle he prepared in the house within, to set there the ark of the covenant of the Lord. That was verse 19. Verse 20. Chapter 6, verse 20. And the oracle in the forepart was 20 cubits in length, and 20 cubits in breadth, and 20 cubits in the height thereof. And he overlaid it with pure gold, and so covered the altar which was of cedar. So Solomon overlaid the house within with pure gold, and he made a partition by the chains of gold before the oracle, and he overlaid it with gold. And the whole house he overlaid with gold, until he had finished all the house. Also, the whole altar that was by the oracle he overlaid with gold. Gold everywhere, all on my watch. Gold everywhere. And within the oracle, he made 2 cherubims of olive tree, each 10 cubits high. And 5 cubits was the one wing of the cherub, and 5 cubits the other wing of the cherub. For the uttermost part of the one wing unto the uttermost part of the other were 10 cubits. And the other cherub was 10 cubits. Both the cherubims were on one measure and one side. The height of the one cherub was 10 cubits, and so was it of the other cherub. And he set the cherubims within the inner house, and they stretched forth the wings of the cherubims, so that the wing of the one touched the one wall, and the wing of the other cherub touched the other wall. And their wings touched one another in the midst of the house. And he overlaid the cherubims with gold. And he carved all the walls of the house round about with carved figures of cherubims and palm trees and open flowers within and without. And the flower of the house he overlaid with gold within and without. And for the entering of the oracle, he made doors of olive tree. The lintel and side posts were a fifth part of the wall. And the 2 doors also were of olive tree. And he carved upon them carvings of cherubims and palm trees and open flowers, and overlaid them with gold, and spread gold upon the cherubims and upon the palm trees. So also made he for the door of the temple post of olive tree a fourth part of the wall, and the 2 doors were of fir tree. The 2 leaves of the one door were folding, and the 2 leaves of the other door were folding. And he carved thereon cherubims and palm trees and open flowers, and carved them with gold fitted upon the carved work. And he built the inner court with 3 rows of hewed stone and a row of cedar beams. In the fourth year was the foundation of the house of the Lord laid in the month of Ziph. And in the 11th year, in the month of Bull, which is the 8th month. I need to write this down. Bull. Where's maybe that's it. Oh yeah, this is it. Ziph Bull. Months of the year. Ziph and Bull. Biblical months of the year. I know Nissan is one. So we got right now we got Ziph, Bull, which is the 8th month. I already got it highlighted. So it was laid in the Ziph is the 2nd month. It was laid in the month Ziph, which is the 2nd month that he began to build the house of the Lord. Let's see. Go back. Calendar. Let's see. Calendar. Okay. I'm looking at the calendar. It doesn't have bull on the calendar. Not in the names of this calendar. Up in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, the calendar names if you want to look. You can pause it. Nisan, Iyar, Sivan, Tammuz, Ab, Elam, Tishri, Heshvan, Keslev, Tebeth, Shebat, Adar. Well, it says Bull is the 8th month. So we'll go with that. Bull, which is the 8th month. 8th month. First Kings chapter 6, verse 38. I guess we'll leave this handy. And in the 11th year, in the month Bull, which is the 8th month, was the house finished throughout all the parts thereof, and according to all the fashion of it. So was he 7 years in building it. Chapter 7, the palace buildings. But Solomon was building his own house 13 years, and he finished all his house. He built also the house of the fortress of the forest of Lebanon. The length thereof was 100 cubits, and the breadth thereof 50 cubits, and the height thereof 30 cubits, upon 4 rows of cedar pillars, with cedar beams upon the pillars. And it was covered with cedar above upon the beams that lay on the 45 pillars, 15 in a row. And there were windows in 3 rows, and light was against light in 3 ranks. And all the doors and posts were square with the windows, and light was against window in 3 ranks. And he made a porch of pillars, the length thereof was 50 cubits, and the breadth there was of 30 cubits, and the porch was before them. And the other pillars and the thick beam were before them. Then he made a porch for the throne where he might judge, even the porch of judgment, and it was covered with cedar from one side of the floor to the other. And his house where he dwelt had another court within the porch, which was of the like work, excuse me. And Solomon made also the house for Pharaoh's daughter, whom he had taken to wife like unto this porch. And all these were of costly stones, according to the measures of huge stones, sawed and with saws within and without, even from the foundation unto the coping, and so on the outside toward the great court. And the foundation was of costly stones, even great stones, stones of 10 cubits, and stones of 8 cubits. And above were costly stones, after the measures of huge stones and cedars. And the great court round about was with 3 rows of huge stones, and a row of cedar beams, both for the inner court of the house of the Lord and for the porch of the house. The temple furnishings. And King Solomon sent and fetched Hiram out of Tyre. He was a widow's son of the tribe of Naphtali, and his father was a man of Tyre, a worker in brass, and he was filled with wisdom and understanding and cunning to work all works in brass. And he came to the king Solomon and wrought all his work. And he cast, 2 pillars of brass of 18 cubits high apiece, and a line of 12 cubits did compass either of them about. And he made 2 chapiters of molten brass to set upon the tops of the pillars. What is a chapiter? A chapiter. Two chapiters of brass. Stuff that I need to look at. Chapiters. What is a chapiter? What are the biblical months? What are the biblical months? What is a chapiter? What is a chapiter? Chapiter. Chapiters. What is a chapiter? Let's see if it's in here. Chapiter. Chapman. I wonder if it's in the dictionary. In the actual dictionary. Let's see. Chapiter. Chapiters. A chapiter. If anybody's in there and knows what it is, put it in the chat. A chapiter. A chapiter. A chapiter. Chapiter. A chapiter. Chapi. Chapiter. Chapiter. The capital of a column. A little head. The capital of a column. I'll take it. It's better than nothing. The capital of a column. Little head. The capital of a column. And he made two chapiters. The capital of a column. The head of the column. And he made two chapiters of molten brass to set upon the tops of the pillars. The heights of the one chapiter was 5 cubits, and the height of the other chapiter was 5 cubits. The nets of checker work and wreaths of chain work for the chapiters which were upon the top of the pillars. 7 for one chapiter and 7 for the other chapiter.
Dad, you just had to play my game.
I don't care. What's going on right now?
I'm reading.
Okay. So what you gonna have to do?
Wait. Long time.
How long to? Verse 18. And he made the pillars and 2 rows round about upon the And he made the two pillars and two rows round about upon the one network to cover the chapiters that were upon the top with pomegranates. And so did he for the other chapiter. And the chapiter that were upon the top of the pillars were of lily work, and in the porch 4 cubits. And the chapiters upon the two pillars had pomegranates also above, over against the belly which was by the network. And the pomegranates were 200 in rows round about upon the other chapiter. And he set up the pillars in the porch of the temple, and he set up the right pillar, and called the name thereof Jachin. And he set up the left pillar, and called the name thereof Boaz. And upon the top of the pillars was lily work. So was the work of the pillars finished. And he made a molten sea, 10 cubits, from the one brim of the other. It was round all about, and his height was 5 cubits. And a line of 30 cubits did compass it round about. And under the brim of it round about there were knobs compassing it, 10 in a cubit, compassing the sea round about. And knobs were cast in 2 rows when it was cast. It stood upon 12 oxen, 3 looking towards the north, and 3 looking towards the west, and 3 looking towards the south, and 3 looking towards the east. And the sea was set above upon them, and all their hinder parts were inward. And it was an handbreadth thick, and the brim thereof was wrought like the brim of a cup, with flowers of lilies. It contained 2,000 baths. And he made 10 basins of brass. 4 cubits was the length of one base, and 4 cubits the breadth thereof, and 3 cubits the height of it. And works of the bases was in this manner. They had borders, and the borders were between the ledges. And the borders that were between the ledges were lions, oxen, and cherubim. And upon the ledges there was the base above. And beneath the lions and oxen were certain additions made in thin work. And every base had 4 brazen wheels and plates of brass, and the 4 corners thereof had undersetters. Under the laver were undersetters molten at the side of even of every addition, excuse me. And the mouth of it within the chapiter and above was a cubit, but the mouth thereof was round after the work of the base, a cubit and a half. And also upon the mouth of it were gravings with their borders, 4 square, not round. And under the borders were 4 wheels, and the axle trees of the wheels were joined to the base. And the height of the wheel was a cubit and half a cubit. And the work of the wheel was like the work of the chariot wheel. Their axle tree and their naves and their felloes and their spokes were all molten. Yeah, swangles on that thing. And there were 4 undersetters to the 4 corners of one base. And the undersetter were of the very base itself. And in the top of the base was there a round compass of half a cubit high. And on the top of the base, the ledges thereof and the borders thereof were of the same. For on the plates of the ledges thereof and on the borders thereof he graved cherubims, lions, and palm trees, according to the proportion of every one, the additions round about. After this manner he had made 10 bases. All of them had one casting, one measure, and one size. Then he 10 lavers of brass. One laver contained 40 bags, and every laver was 4 cubits, and upon every one of them 10 bases, one laver. And he put 5 bases on the right side of the house and 5 bases on the left side of the house. And he set the sea on the right side of the house eastward over against the south. And Hiram made the lavers and the shovels and the basins. So Hiram made an end of doing all the work, and he made King Solomon for the house of that he made King Solomon for the house of the Lord. The 2 pillars and the 2 bowls of the chapiters that were on the top of the 2 pillars, and the 2 networks to cover the 2 bowls of the chapiters which were upon the top of the pillars, and 400 pomegranates, and for the 2 networks, even 2 rows of pomegranates for 1 network to cover the 2 bowls of the chapiters that were upon the pillars, and the 10 basins and 10 lavers on the bases, and 1 sea, and 12 oxen under the sea, and the pots, and the shovels, and the basins, and all these vessels which Hiram made to King Solomon for the house of the Lord were of bright brass. In the plain of Jordan did the king cast them, in the clay ground between Succoth and Zarthan. And Solomon left all the vessels unweighed, because they were exceeding many. Neither was the weight of the brass found out. And Solomon made all the vessels there that pertained unto the house of the Lord, the altar of gold, and the table of gold, whereupon the showbread was, and the candlesticks of pure gold, 5 on the right side and 5 on the left, before the oracle with the flowers, and the lamps and tongs of gold, and the bowls, and the snuffers, and the basins, and the spoons, and the censers of pure gold, and the hinges of gold, both for the doors of the inner house, the most holy place, and for the doors of the house to wit of the temple. So was ended all the work that King Solomon made for the house of the Lord. And Solomon brought in the things which David his father had dedicated, even the silver and the gold and the vessels did he put among the treasures of the house of the Lord. Chapter 8. The ark brought to the temple. Ooh-wee. Then Solomon assembled the elders of Israel and all the heads of the tribes, the chief of the fathers of the children of Israel unto King Solomon in Jerusalem, that they might bring up the ark of the covenant of the Lord out of the city of David, which is Zion. And all the men of Israel assembled themselves unto King Solomon at the feast in the month Ethanim, which is the 7th month. There we go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Let me know what I need to know. Ethanim, which is the 7th month. Ethanim. Ethanim. Get it. Ethanim. 7th month. Ethanim. 7th month. 1 Kings 8 chapter, verse 3. Verse 2. Ziph. Let's go back to Ziph and put a question mark by Ziph. Ziph. We're going to do 1 Kings chapter 6, verse 1, second month, question mark. Because I don't like how it's said. It's not I don't like. It's just how it reads. Ziph, which is the second month, that he began to build the temple. I mean, it's a comma there. I'm gonna put it there. Second month. We're gonna see. We're gonna keep going. And all the men of Israel assembled themselves unto King Solomon at the feast in the month Ethanim, which is the seventh month. And all the elders of Israel came, and the priests took up the ark. And they brought up the ark of the Lord, and the tabernacle of the congregation, and all the holy vessels that were in the tabernacle. Even those did the priests and the Levites bring up. And King Solomon and all the congregation of Israel that were assembled unto him were with him before the ark, sacrificing sheep and oxen that could not be told nor numbered for multitude. Shalom. And the priest brought in the ark of the covenant of the Lord unto the house, unto his place, into the oracle of the house, to the most holy place, even under the wings of the cherubims. For the cherubims spread forth their two wings over the place of the ark, and the cherubims covered the ark and the staves thereof above. And they drew out the staves, that the ends of the staves were seen out in the holy place before the oracle, and they were not seen without. And there they are unto this day. There was nothing in the ark save the two tables of stone, which Moses put there at Horeb when the Lord made a covenant with the children of Israel when they came out of the land of Egypt. And it came to pass, when the priests were come out of the holy place, that the cloud filled the house of the Lord, so that the priests could not stand to minister because of the cloud, for the glory of the Lord had filled the house of the Lord. Then spake Solomon, the Lord said that he will dwell in the thick darkness. I have surely built thee a house to dwell in, a settled place for thee to abide in forever. And the king turned his face about and blessed all the congregation of Israel. And all the congregation of Israel stood. And he said, Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, which spake with his mouth unto David my father, and hath with his hand fulfilled it, saying, Since the day that I brought forth my people Israel out of Egypt, I chose no city out of all the tribes of Israel to build an house, that my name might be therein. But I chose David to be over my people Israel. And it was in the heart of David, my father, to build an house for the name of the Lord God of Israel. And the Lord said unto David, my father, Whereas it was in thine heart to build an house unto my name, thou didst well that it was in thine heart. Nevertheless, thou shalt not build the house, but thy son that shall come forth out of thy loins, he shall build the house unto my name. And the Lord had performed his word that he spake. And I am risen up in the room of David my father, and sit on the throne of Israel, as the Lord promised, and have built an house for the name of the Lord God of Israel. And I have set there a place for the ark, wherein is the covenant of the Lord, which he made for our fathers when he brought them out of the land of Egypt. Solomon's prayer of dedication. And Solomon stood before the altar of the Lord in the presence of all the congregation of Israel, and spread forth his hands towards heaven. And he said, Lord God of Israel, there is no God like thee in heaven above or on earth beneath, who keepeth covenants and mercy with thee, with thy servants that walk before thee with all their heart, who has kept with thy servant David, my father, that thou promisest him. Thou spakest also with thy mouth, and hast fulfilled it with thine hand, as it is this day. Therefore now, Lord God of Israel, keep with thy servant David, my father, that thou promisedst him, saying, there shall not fail thee a man in my sight to sit on the throne of Israel, so that thy children take heed to thy way, that they walk before me as thou hast walked before me. And now, O God of Israel, let thy word, I pray thee, be verified, which thou spakest unto thy servant David my father. But will God indeed dwell on the earth? Behold, the heaven and heaven of heavens cannot contain thee. How much less this house that I have builded? Yet have thy respect upon unto the prayer of thy servant, and to his supplication, O Lord my God, to hearken unto the cry, to the prayer which thy servant prayeth before thee today. That thine eyes may be upon toward this house night and day, even toward the place of which thou hast said, my name shall be there, that thou mayest hearken unto the prayer which thy servant shall make toward this place. And hearken thou to the supplication of thy servant and of thy people Israel, when they shall pray toward this place, and hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and when thou hearest, forgive. If any man trespass against his neighbor, and an oath be laid upon him to cause him to swear, and the oath come before thine altar in this house, then hear thou in heaven, and do, and judge thy servants, condemning the wicked to bring his way upon his head, and justifying the righteous to give him according to his righteousness. When thy people Israel be smitten down before the enemy, because they have sinned against thee, and shall turn again to thee, and confess thy name, and pray, and make supplication unto thee in this house, then hear thou in heaven, and forgive the sin of thy people Israel, and bring them again unto the land which thou givest unto their fathers. When heaven is shut up, and there is no rain, because they have sinned against thee, if they pray toward this place, and confess thy name, and turn from their sin, when thou afflictest them, then hear thou in heaven, and forgive the sin of thy servants and of thy people Israel, that thou teach them the good way within they shall walk, and give rain upon thy land, which thou hast given to thy people for an inheritance. If there be in the land famine, if there be pestilence, blasting, mildew, locust, or if there be caterpillar, if their enemy besiege them in the land of their cities, whatsoever plague, whatsoever sickness there be, what prayer and supplication soever be made by any man or by all thy people Israel, which shall know every man the plague of his own heart, and spread forth his hands towards this house, then hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and forgive, and do, and give to every man according to his ways, whose heart thou knowest. For thou, even thou only, knowest the hearts of all the children of men, that they may fear thee all the days of their lives in the land which thou givest unto thy fathers. Moreover, concerning a stranger that is not of thy people Israel, but cometh out of the far country for thy name's sake, For they shall hear of thy great name, and of thy strong hand, and of thy stretched out arm, when he shall come and pray towards this house. Hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and do according to all that the stranger calleth to thee for, that all people of the earth may know thy name, to fear thee, as do thy people Israel, and that they may know that this house which I have built it is called by this name. If thy people go out to battle against thy enemy, against their enemy, whithersoever thou shalt send them, and shall pray unto the Lord toward the city which thou hast chosen, and toward the house that I have built for thy name, then bear thou in heaven their prayer and their supplication, and maintain their cause. If they sin against thee, for there is no man that sinneth not, and thou be angry with them, and deliver them to the enemy, so that they carry them away captives unto the land of the enemy, far or near. Yet if they shall bethink themselves in the land whither they were carried captives, and repent, and make supplication unto thee in the land of them that carried them captives, saying, we have sinned and have done perversely, we have committed wickedness, and so return unto thee with all their heart and with all their soul, and in the land of their enemies, which led them away captive, and pray unto thee toward their land, which thou gavest unto their fathers, the city which thou hast chosen, in the house which I have built for thy name. Then hear thou their prayer and their supplication in heaven, thy dwelling place, and maintain their cause, and forgive thy people that have sinned against thee, and all their transgressions, wherein they have transgressed against thee, and give them compassion before them who carry them captive, that they may have compassion on them. For they be thy people, and thine inheritance, which thou broughtest forth out of Egypt, from the midst of the furnace of iron, that thine eyes may be opened unto the supplication of their servants. And forgive thy people that have sinned against thee, and all their transgressions wherein they have transgressed against thee, and give them compassion before them who carried them captive, that they may have compassion on them. For they be thy people and thine inheritance, which thou broughtest forth out of Egypt, from the midst of the furnace of iron, that thine eyes may be open unto the supplication of thy servant, and unto the supplication of thy people Israel, to hearken unto them in all that they call for unto thee. For thou didst separate them from among all the people of the earth, to be thine inheritance, as thou spakest by the hand of Moses thy servant, when thou broughtest our fathers out of Egypt, O Lord God. And it was so that when Solomon had made an end of praying all this prayer and supplication unto the Lord, he arose from before the altar of the Lord, from kneeling and on his knees, with his hands spread up to the heaven. And he stood and blessed all the congregation of Israel with a loud voice, saying, blessed be the Lord that hath given rest unto his people Israel, according to all that he promised, that hath not failed one word of all his good promise, which he promised by the hand of Moses his servant. The Lord our God be with us, as he was with our fathers. Let him not leave us nor forsake us. that he may incline our hearts unto him, to walk in all his ways, to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, which he commanded our fathers. And let these my words, wherewith I have made supplication before the Lord, be nigh unto the Lord our God day and night, that he maintain the cause of his servant and the cause of his people Israel at all times, as the matter shall require, that all the people of the earth may know that the Lord is God and that there is none else. Let your heart therefore be perfect with the Lord our God, to walk in his statutes and to keep his commandments as at this day. How many are doing so? How many are doing so? How many are walking in his statutes and his commandments? How many are doing so? The offering of the feast. And the king and all Israel with him offered sacrifices before before the Lord. And Solomon offered the sacrifice of peace offerings, which he offered unto the Lord, 22,000 oxen and 120,000 sheep. So the king and all the children of Israel dedicated the house of the Lord. And the same day did the king hallow the middle of the court that was before the house of the Lord. For there he offered burnt offerings and meat offerings and the fat of the peace offerings, because the brazen altar that was before the Lord was too little to receive the burnt offerings and the meat offerings and the fat of the peace offerings. And at that time, Solomon held a feast, and all Israel with him, a great congregation, from the entering of Hamath unto the river of Egypt, before the Lord our God, serving the Lord our God 7 days and 7 days, even 14 days. Man, he had a feast for 14 days. On the 8th day, he sent the people away, and they blessed the king and went unto their tents joyful and glad of heart for all the goodness that the Lord had done for David his servant and for Israel his people. Chapter 9. The covenant with Solomon. Chapter 9. We're going to stop at chapter 10. Chapter 9, the covenant with Solomon. It's going to be the last chapter. And it came to pass, when Solomon had finished the building of the house of the Lord, and the king's house, and all Solomon's desire which he was pleased to do, that the Lord appeared to Solomon the second time, as he had appeared unto him in Gibeah. And the Lord said unto him, I have heard thy prayer and thy supplication that thou hast made before me. I have hallowed this house which thou hast built, to put my name thereof there forever. And mine eyes and mine heart shall be there perpetually. And if thou would walk before me as David thy father walked in integrity of heart and in uprightness, to do according to all that I have commanded thee, and wilt keep my statutes and my judgments, then I will establish the throne of thy kingdom upon Israel forever, as I promised to David thy father, saying, there shall not fail thee a man upon the throne of Israel. But if ye shall at all turn from following me, ye or your children, and will not keep my commandments and my statutes which I have set before you, but go and serve other gods and worship them, then I will cut off Israel out of the land which I have given them, and this house which I have hallowed for my name will I cast out of my sight, and Israel shall be a proverb and a byword among all people. And at this house, which is high, everyone that passeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss, and they shall say, why hath the Lord done thus unto this land and to this house? And they shall answer, because they forsook the Lord their God, who brought them forth, who brought forth their fathers out of the land of Egypt, and have taken hold upon other gods, and have worshipped them and served them. Therefore hath the Lord brought upon them all this evil. Why? Why? Because you served other gods. Because you served other gods. That whole thing need to be marked. And the Lord said unto him, it's pretty much the same thing that he told him Moses. The promises and the curses. He's giving it to him again. He's letting him know, hey, if you do this, this was gonna happen. If you don't, if you're gonna get the blessings forever. If not, you're gonna be a byword and a proverb and a byword. Why are they like this? Because they disobeyed the Most High. They disobeyed their God and followed other gods and did what the hell they wanted to do. So he brought this great evil upon them. It's their fault. 1 Kings chapter 9, verse 10. Solomon's accomplishments. And it came to pass at the end of 20 years, when Solomon had built the two houses, the house of the Lord and the king's house. Now Hiram, the king of Tyre, had furnished Solomon with cedars. Naphtali. Naphtali was over Tyre. You got to remember that, because Hiram he's a widow's son of Naphtali. Now Hiram, the king of Tyre, had furnished Solomon with cedar trees and fir trees, and with gold according to all his desire. That then King Solomon gave Hiram 20 cities in the land of Galilee. And Hiram came out from Tyre to see the cities which Solomon had given him. And they pleased him not. And he said, what cities are these which thou hast given me, my brother? And he called them the land of Kabul unto this day, of Kabul unto this day. And Hiram sent to the king 60 talents of gold. And this is the reason of the levy which King Solomon raised to build the house of the Lord, and his own house, and Milo, and the wall of Jerusalem, and Hazar, and Megiddo, and Gezer. For Pharaoh, king of Egypt, had gone up and taken Gezer, and burned it with fire, and slain the Canaanites that dwelt in the city, and given it for a present unto his daughter, Solomon's wife. And Solomon built Gezer, and Beth Horon, the nether, and Baalath, and Tadmor in the wilderness in the land, and all the cities of store that Solomon had, and cities for his chariots, and cities for his horsemen, and that which Solomon desired to build in Jerusalem and in Lebanon, and in all the land of his dominion. And all the people that were left of the Amorites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and Jebusites, which were not of the children of Israel, their children that were left after them in the land, whom the children of Israel also were not able utterly to destroy. Upon those did Solomon levy a tribute of bond service unto this day. But of the children of Israel did Solomon make no bondmen, but they were men of war, and his servants, and his princes, and his captains, and rulers of his chariots and his horsemen. These were the chief of the officers that were over Solomon's work, 550, which bear rule over the people that wrought in the work. But Pharaoh's daughter came up out of the city of David unto her house, which Solomon had built for her. Then did he build Milo. And 3 times in a year did Solomon offer burnt offerings, peace offerings upon the altar which he built unto the Lord. And he burnt incense upon the altar that was before the Lord. So he finished the house. And King Solomon made a navy of ships in Ezion Geber, which is beside Elath, on the shore of the Red Sea, in the land of Edom. And Hiram sent in the navy his servants, shipmen that had knowledge of the sea, with the servants of Solomon. And they came to Ophir, and fetched from thence gold 420 talents, and brought it to King Solomon. Ah, we're gonna stop there. That was the end of chapter 9. That was First Kings chapter 5 through chapter 9. It's a lot of building plans. Like I'm reading a blueprint. Like I'm reading a blueprint. And I can see the pictures and the layout of the house of Solomon and the house of the Lord and the oracles and the things that he did and the different specificities of things, like the gold that was overlaid of the table of the showbread, and on the little carvings that were along the walls of the pomegranates and lions and oxen and palm trees and flowers that were open. You know, they had a lot of work went into that, man. Him and Hiram and all them workers, they had a lot of work that went into that thing. You know, so yeah, a lot of work. I think about a lot of that work sometime when I be carving, you know, and how long it takes me sometime to do some of the carvings that I have done. I don't know if I'd have made Solomon team or not, but hey, who knows? With a good teacher, I think I could do wonders. But hey, I have a good teacher. I can check out his Instagram and his feed, see what's going on in his Facebook. Yeah, but that's today's Sabbath reading, man. Man, I'm out you. On this Sabbath, man. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. I'm out you on this Sabbath. Let His will be done. Let His will be done. Let Thy will be done. So a little bit of reading ain't nothing wrong with it. He allowed me and gave me everything I need to succeed. So a little bit of read ain't nothing. But be ye more doers of the word, not just hearers of the word. That's what we gotta be. More doers and not just hearers. If you say that you follow this, if you say you follow the Most High of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. If not, hey, you do what your God say do. If your God say you can eat turtle lips, go ahead, you eat turtle lips. Shalom. But the Most High, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, told Solomon, if you do like, if you keep my commandments, like was told of David, like was told of Moses, If you keep my statutes, if you keep my commandments, hey, things gonna be straight. But a lot of people don't want to hear that shit. Why, Lord? Why? Oh, help me, please. You ain't did nothing. Do what you're supposed to do. Do what you're supposed to do. Thy will be done. Good things. Oh, here you go. Rain down on me. But you gotta do what you gotta do. That's what he say. It's gonna rain on them. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, hey, the rain gonna be shut up. It's gonna be shut up from heaven. But if you do what you're supposed to do, then it's gonna rain down on me. It fall on me. Ah, shit. Hey, Solomon was doing his thing. Hey, he showed himself. You know, he got the first things that he was asking for. Wisdom. He got that by applying the statutes and commandments. Then the next thing he prayed for was that as long as his people and him do what they're supposed to do, that he keep the covenant that he made with his forefathers and father David. Most High said he would do that. It was told that I'll do that. I hear you. Man, he called me last night. I got your voicemail, Solomon. Hey, what up, baby? Man, I live. Who is it? Solomon? Let me hear what Solomon talking about. What you want? Oh, I can do that. There ain't nothing. I'm gonna hit you back. Let me run it down and hit you back. If you do what I tell you to do, hey, we ain't got no problem, Solomon. Man, you and your people. You and your people gonna be my people. That's good. That work for you? That work for you? Hey, well, we ain't talking about nothing. Hey, baby. Hey, what's up? What's up, my people? You my people. You my people. Hey, I'm gonna look out for you. Don't worry, you ain't gotta worry about nothing. All right, Solomon. Hey, I'm gonna holler at you. I'll be down there tomorrow. Yeah, that new house you built me, man. I like the pomegranates you got up there, man. You and that boy Hiram. Man, y'all did some nice work up in there. Man, I love that, man. Y'all, hey, man, I like the way you threw that barbecue out there for 14 days, man. That barbecue was nice, man. The oxen, it smelled good. And who was on that grill? Potato salad was good. Yeah, I appreciate that. That's how I go down in the house of the Lord. I like that. You know, yeah. I told David I was gonna let it go down like that. All right. Well, hey, look, you keep doing what you're supposed to do. Hey, this line gonna be open. But hey, look, you don't do what you're supposed to do, and I'm gonna block y'all ass. You're gonna be on the block list. Israel, block. They be wondering why God don't hear their prayer. God got them on block. Them on block. When you do what you're supposed to do, it's gonna get told. The angels recording everything. That's the word gonna get to them. Man, they doing what they supposed to do now, and they gonna unblock. Unblock. Let me hear what they talking about. Block them, Lord. Made us down there like this. What you doing? Oh, okay. I see you. Well, you just gonna do what you want to do, huh? All right. Does what they want to do. Harlotry, whoredom, lying, stealing, killing. Boy, they got a long list of shit. Woo. Block them, Lord. Block them. Israel, block. Hey, that's what it say in Leviticus. Hey, Leviticus 5:1. That's what it say. They doing what they supposed to do. Leviticus 5:1. And if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing and is a witness, whether he had seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. He did it, Lord. It was him, Lord. I saw it. Are you on the Most High block list? Does the Most High hear your prayers? You think that's him? You might want to ask yourself, are you on his block list? If you don't know if you're on a block list, why don't you go find out what you're supposed to be doing? And if you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing, then he say you on the block list. I believe I used to be on the block list. I think I got a better chance right now than I used to, but I might still be blocked too. But I'm out here. I'm trying to get unblocked if I'm not. If I'm blocked, I'm trying to get unblocked. Let me blow my horn. Let them know I'm calling it. Unblock me, Lord. Unblock me. Unblock me, please. I need you in my life. Unblock me. Oh, unblock me. Shit, give me wisdom so I can get unblocked. Pray for wisdom. Oh, Lord, unblock me. Somebody, I better not hear that in the church. Unblock me, Lord. Oh, oh, oh. Unblock me, Lord. I better not see no videos talking about unblock me, Lord. I better not see no unblock me, Lord videos in the church. I better not. Somebody send it to me. Unblock me, Lord. Unblock me. Unblock me now. Unblock me. Man, now go. Unblock me, Lord. Shit. I've been sinning and trying to get my life right. Unblock me, Lord. And please save my life. Unblock me. Unblock me now. Oh, unblock me now. Ooh. Why are you blocking me? Lord, I've been calling, but I guess I'm on the block list. Your servant's calling, and you unblock me. Oh, yeah, Lord, your servant's calling. I've been sending texts and dialing phone numbers. Oh, unblock me, please. Unblock me if I'm blocked. Unblock me. Unblock me. Unblock me, Lord. Unblock me. Unblock me, Lord. Unblock me. I've been calling for you. So unblock me, please. Unblock me, Lord. Oh, unblock me. When I'm alone in my room and I stare at the wall, in the back of my mind, I hear the conscience call. I've been thinking about your laws, statutes, and commandments. I ain't been doing it down here, so I know you're looking at me saying, God damn it. Why do I have to stop the rain on you? If blocking you wasn't enough, let me show you what else I'll do. You could get plagues, pestilence, famine too. Got plenty of tricks up my sleeve. Oh man. Yeah, unblock me, Lord. Unblock me. Thank you, Lord, for whatever you give me. All praises to the Most High for whatever I have. Because I have everything that I need to succeed. Everything that I need to succeed. Whether I'm blocked or not. He has given me the key to get unblocked. And it starts by with reading and seeking. Reading and seeking. Mm-hmm. So we're just gonna read and see what he's talking about, man. Common sense. Read. Just read. I'll read. I'll read. And try to get unblocked. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get unblocked, baby. I gotta read to see how do I unblock myself. It's like, the shit you don't never want to read. Let me see what I got. Let me see what I got right here. The instruction manual. Almost, yeah, a little bit more. All right. It's like this shit right here. It's like this. In all things, most all things come with some type of instruction manual. Say it again, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Yes, sir. Most all things come with instruction manuals. It even has, in some cases, if you have what they call it troubleshoot. They have a troubleshooting thing in the manual. If something's going wrong, these are the things you do to troubleshoot to see what's going on. So, but in order for you to be able to troubleshoot these things, you must have to read their damn instructions to figure out, okay, what it is, what it do, what it's supposed to do, how it's supposed to go. Okay, and this is what I'm seeing. This is what it's doing here. So if it's doing this, then it most likely means this. All right. Your life messed up? You feel like your prayers ain't been answered? Let's troubleshoot your life and see. Okay. It's you're supposed to be keeping the law, statutes, and commandments right here. That's what it says. Let's see what Solomon said. Let's see what the Lord said to Solomon again. And the Lord said unto him, I have heard thy prayer and thy supplication that thou hast made before me. Yeah, I heard when you called me, baby. I listened to that voicemail. Solomon left a whole long voicemail. He ain't have that, no long. We get a minute. Solomon had a long voicemail. And the Lord said unto him, I have heard the prayer and thy supplication that thou hast made before me, and I have hallowed this house which thou hast built, to put my name there forever, and mine eyes and my heart shall be there perpetually. And if thou wilt walk before me, as David thy father walked in integrity of heart and in uprightness, to do according to all that I have commanded thee, and wilt keep my commandments and my judgments, then I will establish the throne of thy kingdom upon Israel forever, as I promised to David thy father, saying, there shall not fail thee a man upon the throne of Israel. But if ye shall at all turn from following me, this is the troubleshooting part. If you at all turn from following him, you wonder why your engine ain't starting? Oh, because you turn from following him. Shalom. You wonder why your lights ain't coming on? You turn from following him. Is you really doing what you're supposed to do? And if ye shall at all turn from following me, ye or your children, and will not keep my commandments and my statutes, which I have said before you, but go and serve other gods and worship them, then I will cut off Israel out of the land which I have given them, in this house which I have hallowed for my name, and I will cast off out of my sight, and Israel shall be a proverb and a byword among all people. Hey, you want to keep being that? Don't do what you're supposed to do. Stop trying to troubleshoot. You better troubleshoot your life. Troubleshoot your life and get your mind right. And get off the unblock. Get off the block list, baby. Unblock me, Lord. Unblock me. Unblock me, Lord.
Did you give me a lip in the top and the bottom?
Mm-hmm. How you hit you?
What do I try to make a cow sandwich?
Mm-hmm. Why did he do that, son?
I don't know why when he didn't give me them.
All right. I'll be in a minute. Check it out. We'll talk about it when I get in there, son. All right. Unblock me. I don't even know how blocking works for real. I don't block too many people. I just don't talk to them, I guess. That's blocking. That's how the most I did. He hid his face. I know they ain't looking for me. Here I go. Hey, I know they ain't looking for me. Hey, when you calling the Most High and you ain't doing, when you praying and you ain't doing what you supposed to be doing, I know they ain't looking for me. When you doing what you're supposed to be doing, here I go. I know. I know. All praise. All praise. Happy Sabbath. Happy Sabbath. This is Sabbath, baby. We out here on the Sabbath. I'm just going through the Most High Facebook. I'm just trying to see what he talking about. There was some stories in the reel going on. King Solomon, King Solomon going viral right now. He building shit. That boy splurging. He's splurging. It's no expense. It's no expense for King Solomon right now. They getting cedar trees and fir trees and gold. Man, he got people going work for him over there carving stuff. Man, I wonder if he can give me a job. Solomon did it big. Had a feast for 14 days. Shit, everybody came. Man, that feast was from Timbuktu. Man, this boy got a navy. Israel got a navy and a army. Won't come against Israel. Shit. Oh yeah, it's looking good. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. Good things. But yeah, we're gonna keep reading. Read, learn, apply. See what can you change in your life, man. What can help you get unblocked? Unblock me, Lord. Unblock me. Unblock me now. Unblock me now. Unblock me, Lord. I don't want to be blocked no more. I done changed my mind. Oh, help me, Lord. Our people has been on the block list for a long time. Our people as a whole have been on the block list for a long time because we don't want to do simple stuff. Simple things. It's simple things, but because we tend to have a wandering eye and want to do everything that everybody else is doing. Well, why they get to do it? Why we can't do it? I want to be like them. Hey, you're not like them. We not like them. And they not like us. Never been. Never will be. There's always going to be a separation or a division. Against the Most High, or we don't even got to go there. There's always going to be a separation or a division against the righteous and unrighteous. There's always going to be a difference. It's a yin and yang. It's opposite sides of the coin. And what side are you on? You get what you get depending on what side you're on. You keep flipping it and trying to play with it if you want. But just because you flipping it and thinking you fooling somebody don't mean you are, man. You fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself. Do what you're supposed to do. If you say, no matter what you believe in the Quran, do what the Quran tell your ass to do. You believe in in Buddha, do what Buddha tell your ass to do. You believe in Krishna and all these other the Bhagavad Gita and all that, do what they tell you to do. Do what your deity, your higher power, your most high, whoever above you who gave y'all orders and instructions to live by and guide you, do what they told you to do. Stand with yours. Stand with yours. Your actions gonna show whose side you on. Your actions gonna show what team you play for. You know, your actions, man, what they say, a man cannot serve two masters. You can love the one and hate the other. Who you with? Who you with? Mm-hmm. Your actions gonna show who you with. And when you show who you with, the Most High doing like he ain't worried about your red flags. You on the block list, block. I have to play with them, block. Oh, you don't want to do what I'm talking about? Block you. Block, 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 block. I unblocked them. They doing good. I heard about them. I heard about Abraham. I'm unblocked. No, Abraham wasn't blocked. Solomon wasn't on that block list. David, man, so many people who wasn't on the block list. Let's get off the block list. That's what we got to do. Get off the block list. Your servants calling. Tell them I'm way down here. You said to have no fear. Your servants calling. Unblock me, Lord. Unblock me. I'm gonna call you one more time. I don't know. Unblock me. Yeah, shalom, man. Happy Sabbath. Do what y'all do. All praises to the Most High. We got the reading out the way, man. We're in 1 Kings. That was 1 Kings 5 through chapter 9. Man, we'll come back another time. We'll come back another time and keep on reading and see what's going on. We jump back into 1 Kings and pick up in chapter 10 and see the Queen of Sheba. The visit of the Queen of Sheba. We want to see what's going on with that, man. She done heard good things about Solomon, man. Word through the grapevine is you the man. Solomon! Solomon, we heard about you, baby. We heard about you, Solomon. I'm out you. Your name done travel far. I heard how wise you are, Solomon. Yeah, I do my thing. The Most High, I give all praises. Solomon. Solomon had the wisdom, baby. Solomon. Oh yeah, as I walk. That's oh, Solomon. Solomon played. Solomon, yeah, what up? I heard about you. I saw you on. My people came from over there and they said that you did this and you got this and you got all this money and you building this and you building that and you doing this and that. And oh, Lord. I just had to come see for myself. I just had to come see. Well, welcome. Welcome. Hey, servants, get her whatever she wants. Get her whatever she wants. Oh, Solomon. I was thinking about that. That made me think about why I don't hear women say they want a man like Solomon. I always hear women say they want a man like Boaz. Oh man, I'm choking myself. I hear women say they want a Boaz, but I don't hear nobody say they want a Solomon. I thought that Solomon, that's the best man you can have. He was a leader. He was the wisest man. Why Boaz? Because Boaz wasn't as wise as Solomon. Solomon gonna see through that humbug you trying to pull over his eyes. Whose baby? Who's your baby? Who's your baby? Hey, go get that sword. Go get that sword. Split that baby. Give them both half. Oh, they don't want no Solomon, baby. They don't want no Solomon. Mm-hmm. Everybody want Boaz. Huh? What about Solomon? You don't want no David? You don't, you don't want no King David? You don't want that? You don't want no Abraham? What about them? You don't want no Jacob? You don't want none of them? You only want Boaz. We'll think about that some more. But anyway, good read today. Good read. A lot of blueprint readings. A lot of blueprint readings in the construction of the temple, in the construction of Solomon's houses, where the firs were going to be, where the cedar beams were going to be, where the huge stones were going to be. I like the fact, and I think it's some type of significance, which I would like to know, it wasn't a sound of a hammer that was made at the place where the houses and the temple were built. And I wonder if that has something to do with the resonance of the sounds, because for the length of time that it took him to build the temple, he had been in 11 years building. If it took him that long, just the pounding in that place would have left such a resonance there. But anyway, that's that. I'm gonna keep going. Shalom, 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 man. I hope y'all have a wonderful Sabbath. Keep pushing. Hey, keep pushing, keep pushing. Let thy will be done. Let the Most High will be done. Let his will be done. Keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, man. Keep his judgments. Keep integrity of your heart according to what his righteousness says. Shalom, shalom. Till next time, I'm out you. Shalom.